name is Melanie Hapisu, and about 1 year ago, I fooled everyone that I was gonna be starting my YouTube channel, and life happened. So I really didn't fool you guys, but it's been so hard to actually gain the confidence to do this. But here I am today. So welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my first video. Today we're going to be talking about managing millennials. So basically how it is to work with and manage millennials. So I know you're probably thinking, this is a video for employers, but guys, we need this conversation to get started. So this is just my views, to be honest, and even a few comments from some of my friends. So this video is basically going to be around my views and also some comments from my friends. So it would be nice to have you in. Feel free to make your comments in the comment section below, and so let's do this. So basically we're going to be talking about everything involving working with a Melanie, a Jack, a John, anyone. And just a random fact, did you guys know that research says that by the year 2020, 35% of the workforce is gonna be made up of millennials? I mean, 35% is a huge number in my opinion. And if employers are finding it so hard to work with us right now, what's gonna happen in 2020? And it's not like 2020 is far. 2020 is like 3 weeks or 4 weeks from today. So you can imagine, if us millennials don't help employers to get to understand us, I mean, who's going to help them understand us? So I'm basically going to take you through a few sets of questions that I came up with just to make it easier to film this video. So if I keep looking to the side, that's just me peeping on my laptop to see what the questions are and to get to answer them to the best of my ability. And so let's start, please. So why do employers find it so hard to work with millennials? I mean, one basic reason. Employers are so used to doing things the old way to the extent of they don't see how the working environment can change. They're so used to the structure being go like this, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, to the extent of when a millennial comes into a certain workplace, an employer doesn't see how they're gonna come and change the game. Just because you want to work remotely doesn't mean that we can allow you to work remotely. I mean, this is our company. But I mean, for the employers watching this video, I mean, if you were just a little bit open-minded, it would go a long, long way. So I'm just gonna give you a few mistakes that employers make when working with millennials. And of course, the number one mistake they make is assuming that all millennials are alike. To be honest, we're not alike. I'm not even going to play with you guys. We are nowhere close to alike. Melanie is so different from a Jane out there. There are a few things that I could say serve for all millennials. Like you can say Melanie is similar to Jane because of this and this and this. A few blanket things, but not everything. And so I think all of us are unique in our own way. So that's a number one mistake that employers need to stop making. We're not the same. Number two, another assumption that employers have made is that we love technology for play. It's not just for play. I mean, there are times that yes, we're just on social media scrolling and doing nothing, stalking people, liking people's photos, comparing our lives. I mean, we're all guilty of that. Not just millennials, but even people who are not millennials. And so I think it's an assumption that employers need to stop making, because yes, we really love technology. We are probably always on our phones, but sometimes once in a while we're doing constructive things. You'll be very shocked how many millennials are actually probably looking at new innovative stuff on their phone. We may not be 100%, but I can assure you there are a number of millennials who are actually doing much more constructive things than just playing with technology. Another thing, another assumption that employers make is they feel like, what should I say? They feel like millennials ask too many questions. I know we do, but isn't asking questions a good thing? I think we were brought up knowing that it's okay to ask questions. I know we've grown up in an African background where if an adult says this, you can't question. But I mean, we're slowly moving away from that. It's not so wrong for me to ask you, why do I have to do this? Ask you questions for me to be able to get clarity from it. And I know as young people, I think I'm number one on that list. I ask why so many times. Like, until I get to the root of why you want me to do this job, unless you clearly explain yourself, it's very limiting. And so how do organizations cope with all this millennial nonsense? Number one, set clear expectations. Let's not be Tana. If you want me to do this and this and this by this time, tell me. I think millennials like that. There's no need of you walking into the office right now and telling me, I need this in 20 minutes. Okay, I know there are times that happens, but most times you know about what's going to happen in advance. So why not tell me in advance so that I have ample time to do it? A second thing I'd tell employers to do when working with millennials in order for them to cope is always give feedback. We really love feedback, positive or negative. I mean, I know there are many millennials who are really put down by negative feedback, but as long as you find a proper way to put it, I think feedback is really important for us because we are very reliant on what people say about us, and so that keeps us going. Another way that employers can actually cope with millennials is allow sharing of ideas. So I've had the privilege to work in a both serious organization and a chilled organization. And to be honest, it was very exciting to work in the chilled organization because you could give ideas whenever and wherever. They had brainstorms and it was so nice and exciting, and you felt like you were being listened to. And out of these brainstorms, I can assure you most of the ideas that actually came up, like let me say the big idea of the brainstorm, was always something that came up from so many people, but of course a millennial would have contributed to it. And I'm not saying that we have brilliant ideas, but just think about it. Even right now when I interact with young people, most of the time I'm like, wow, what an idea. Like I wouldn't even have thought about that. And so you can imagine how welcoming it would be to have millennials just share ideas in the workspace. I think it would be really, really fun. I know some of the ideas we give are really crazy, but I mean, there's a limit. It's just a matter of you telling us, no, that's not possible. And if we insist so much, just listen to us. Just listen to us so that you can know how it's going to work. Another way you can cope is listen to your millennial managers. There's some companies that are privileged enough to have managers who are millennials. Please listen to them. I mean, yes, they're already in our shoes because we're all millennials, but another thing is they're trying to satisfy both parties. So they're trying to satisfy the employer, at the same time they're trying to satisfy their fellow millennials that they're managing. So chances are they're going to give you constructive feedback. They're going to make whatever we're trying to say in the most sensible way for you as a business owner to understand. So please, 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 for those companies that have millennial managers, please listen to them. Another way to cope, and the last way, is by being responsive to a changing world. The world is changing. Let's not lie about it. Let's not pretend we're not seeing it changing. I know this is a very sensitive topic that most employers don't like talking about, but very soon, people are going to stop coming to the office. Most countries are now embracing remote jobs, which is what is happening. And I can assure you, I've taken a number of them through LinkedIn, and it's been a fantastic experience. I have worked for a client very many miles away. I never met them. All we did was WhatsApp and had a Skype call every week. And the job was done. It was a 3-month contract, and it was amazing because I could work from anywhere as long as I met my deadline, whatever time I chose to work, for as long as the deadline was met. It was so good. And after all, I mean, we're all looking for an easier, efficient, and more affordable way to do things. So I think working from home is really necessary because you're going to save on rent, you're going to save on electricity costs, water costs. In addition to that, you're not just going to be having people existing on their chairs in the office just because they need to appear like they worked. So start embracing the changing world. And so to finish off the video, I just have a few cheats that I'd like to give employers, just so that they can have them in mind when they are working with millennials. Some of the things that us millennials are looking for is, number one, learning opportunities. We love learning, whether you like it or not, we do. Especially if it's something interesting within our field or something innovative, we're open to that. Second thing, we are craving mentorship so badly. So if you have the opportunity as an employer to mentor a millennial, please just be open-minded and just be able to mentor them, because we don't have many of that. And probably the reason why you feel like we're a nuisance is because you've not really been able to understand where we are coming from with all this. Another cheat I'd give employers is, remember that us millennials are different from you guys. For us, work-life balance is everything. If I'm supposed to be working for you 8 to 5, 8 to 5 is 8 to 5. I know some employers are like, no, your job requires you to work after 5. What if an emergency comes up? I know there are those opportunities that suddenly come and we have to work. I understand. Those ones will work. But the truth of the matter is, if you can try and make your working environment fun, but at the same time serious, so that yes, we work, we meet our deadlines, and we know, okay, my workplace is like my family, then you'll be able to know, okay, if it's time to work, it's time to work. If it's time for family, if it's time for partying, it's time for partying. So we're really big on work-life balance. Another thing I'd tell people is work on your company culture. Company culture is everything. Company culture affects your employees, not just millennials. But I can assure you that millennials are the most affected, because you can imagine coming from uni and then you put me in a serious space, a very serious space. It's almost like, oh, my life was, woo! Then all of a sudden, let's get serious. I mean, I know that that's the corporate world, but you can put a little bit of, let me call it juice, into the working environment, because if that's how your employee will deliver, then why not incorporate such a thing to your working environment? I mean, some offices have PlayStations, and older employers don't understand that. But I think it's really necessary. I had the privilege of working in a marketing agency that had a very chilled environment, and I can assure you, I think I was the most productive in that space, because I was able to just know that, okay, in as much as I'm working, I can take a break. I can always work from the garden. I can always do this for as long as my tasks were delivered. And lastly, a last cheat I would give employers is, we love recognition as millennials. We live for recognition. To be honest, even if I'm the one who put a full stop in your document, please recognize me. It will mean everything. Those are the little things that make millennials work harder and harder, because by you recognizing me, that means you saw the little or the most effort that I put into the job, and the fact that you appreciate it is gonna make me want to always just, do something to, let me say, impress you, but at the same time to build me as a millennial in my career. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave your comments in the comment section. I can't wait to hear from you. I was extremely nervous to do this video, so I actually can't believe that I've done it, but I'll see you on my second YouTube video. Bye!